Hi, I'm Kaylee, and in the last 2 weeks, I have made 2 trips to the bookstore and spent way too much money. You know what? I blame the children. That's who I blame. It's their fault. Both of my nieces came over for sleepovers at different times in the last 2 weeks, and we had a whole little list of all the activities they wanted to do during their sleepover. They wanted to build a fort and play Barbies and read together and bake together and have ice cream. And the biggest thing that they wanted to do was go to the bookstore. But before we dive into the whole bookstore saga, and before I show you the massive stacks of books that I bought, please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you love your local bookstore. And follow me over on Goodreads and Storygraph and Instagram and all the places. Now, on the first trip to the bookstore, I went with my littlest niece, who is 6. So I didn't really have a lot of time to browse for myself, because I was assisting her and helping her to read some of the words and just kind of helping her find what she wanted to look for in the children's section. And I bought her several picture books and some little I can read books that she took home. But for myself, I only got 2 books. So I was like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. Such restraint. But that restraint did not carry through into the next bookstore visit. So one of the ones that I got at that first bookstore trip was Secrets at Sea by Richard Peck. I've read a couple of other books by Richard Peck, and they're just hilarious and imaginative and fun. So when I saw this one, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to have it. I love stories about mice because I love stories about like the underdog who is very small in a very large, overwhelming world, but they make it through with their wits and courage. So I just love stories about mice, and this looks absolutely adorable. There's some really lovely artwork all the way through, so I'm excited to read this one. And the other one I got is Finding God in the Lord of the Rings. Now, I already have Finding God in the Hobbit, and I actually talked about it in one of my recent videos, gearing up for the June Journeys with Inklings readathon. So when I saw this on the shelves, I was like, oh my goodness, it's Kismet. It's perfect. Now, I still haven't quite decided if I'm going to be reading this one for the June Journeys with Inklings readathon. It does feel like, oh, it's just perfect timing, but I kind of already had so many other books that I had lined up. So I might save this one for next year. I might read it this year. I have not decided yet. So those 2 were that first bookstore visit. Such restraint, but it did not last long. So yesterday I went to the bookstore with my older niece who is 8. So this time I was able to browse and kind of look around a little bit more for myself because she didn't really need assistance. She knew what she was looking for, and she just kind of went into that children's area and was looking around for her own books. And then I was able to go into the adjacent middle grade and YA area and kind of browse around and look around for myself while keeping an eye on her in the children's area. The result being that I saw a lot more books that I really wanted to get. So she and I started out with like, we are going to stick to a budget. We're going to have a number with which we're only going to get 4 books. That's all you're allowed, is you can get 4 books each. And that is all. And of course, that very quickly snowballed out of control. So first I saw Wool, which I have read before and really, really enjoyed, but I don't actually own it. So I thought, this is perfect. And I really like this floppy paperback. I mean, it is just so floppy. It's fabulous. So I was really excited to grab this one. And right next to it, I saw Dune, which I have never read, but of course you hear a lot about it these days. I keep thinking that, I'll get it on Kindle, or I'll sit down and read that, one of these days sometime. And I just never have. So if I have it staring at me on my shelves, then maybe I'll finally pick it up one of these days. And this is another fabulously floppy one. There's just something about those floppy paperbacks that I really love. And then as I was looking around the children's section with my niece, I saw these 2 American Girl books from Samantha. So these are Samantha mysteries. I always loved Samantha the best out of the American Girl books, and I already have the main Samantha books, the main series. But when I saw these mystery spinoffs, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to have them. The little girl in me is just so excited to read these. It's just so nostalgic, to revisit this character that was one of my favorites when I was a kid. So of course I had to grab those two, which meant that I now had reached my 4-book limit. But did that stop me? Of course not. Some rules are just made to be broken. Well, then I saw this delightful entire series of The School for Good and Evil, and I've never read these yet. I already own the first book, and it's been on my TBR for years, but I thought, you know what? If I have the whole series staring me in the face, then I'll finally pick them up and start reading them. I mean, really, if you think about it, a series just counts as one book. So I was only one book over the limit at that point because it only got worse from there. Well, then my mom texted me and said, get a puzzle because, you know, we're puzzlers. We like to do puzzles. So we went over to the puzzle section and I got a puzzle that's of books, right? It's of course it's a book puzzle, naturally, of course. Don't you know me at all? Of course it's a book puzzle. However, adjacent to the puzzle section is the antiques book section. And y'all, that is my kryptonite. In case you couldn't tell, I love old-timey looking books. And I saw this gorgeous matching set of George Eliot books. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. These are in really good condition too. These are beautiful. They all say Eliot on the front and just have these gorgeous, gorgeous covers. Oh, so pretty, I want to die. Lovely, pretty little end papers. A lovely frontispiece. Beautiful. Now these are from 1888, I believe. Yeah, so these are quite old. I mean, wow, and they're in such good condition for being that old. Fabulous. So we have Felix Holt and Romola. Is that how you say that? Romola. We have these scenes in clerical life and Silas Marner. So this includes Silas Marner, The Lifted Veil, Brother Jacob, and then Scenes of Clerical Life. So it's a kind of a compilation of some of her shorter works. The Spanish Gypsy, Jubal, and Other Poems. So here we've got some poetry. Oh wow, so it has quite a lot of poetry and everything in here. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Oh, it smells fabulous too. I love it. Okay, then of course we have Adam Bede, fabulous. And The Mill on the Floss, my favorite. I love Mill on the Floss so much. Oh, these are just so beautiful, so beautiful. I could just stare at these all day. It's so lovely. Aw, look. There they are, brother and sister. Now, even at a used bookstore, antique books like this that are over 100 years old can get quite pricey, but I felt like I got a fair price for these and I just had to have the whole set. I didn't care how much it cost. I was just like, you know what? I will eat beans and rice for the next year to pay for these. I just don't care. Well worth the money, absolutely. I look on this as an investment into my antique collection of books. And that is it. Those are the books that I got from the bookstore. And of course, I also purchased some books for my nieces as well. I started out so good and I was sticking to the budget and I was like, no, show some restraint. And then the floodgates opened and I just didn't care anymore. And you know what? The heart wants what the heart wants. Well, once we got home from the bookstore, then the girls wanted to play Bookstore Lady. So we had to play books and library and stuff with the Barbies. And the doll character that was the bookstore owner was just overjoyed when the customers would plunk down $200 for books and then she could, buy groceries and pay her rent. But my character in this game was the crazy book lady. And she had a dress made of books and a bed made of books and a car made of books and she ate books. So that tells you right away how my nieces perceive their auntie. You know what? That's okay. I don't mind being the crazy book lady, but I would be interested how a car made of books would run. That would be interesting. How would that work? Leave me a comment and let me know. How do you think a car made of books would work? And let me know if you have been spending too much on books lately, but no regrets. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.